Even a decade ago, you were either a vegetarian or you weren't. There was no two ways about it. Today, however, the term flexitarian has entered our vocabulary. A vegetarian who may occasionally indulge him/herself in a meal containing meat or fish, and the boundaries blur, making it possible to really choose a diet that falls perfectly in line with the needs of our body and our conscience. A number of people thus are today moving away from strict non-vegetarian diets to embrace a more flexible take on their eating habits, cutting down on their meat consumption for both their own well-being and that of the environment. I myself grew up a vegetarian, but embraced a non-vegetarian lifestyle while at university. 10 years later, though, my body seemed to have had enough of meat and I reverted back to primarily a plant-based diet, slipping in eggs and dairy in healthy doses. So when it comes to cutting down on meat, I can tell you the slope back is much slipper and trickier to negotiate than the signs might claim. There is no two ways about it. In the interest of animals and the environment, cutting down on meat is an ethically aware choice that is commendable and vital. You really could see it as a responsibility to oneself and all other life around us. But the catch with cutting meat out is that vegetarian meals need to be cooked and constituted in a very different manner than non-vegetarian meals to ensure they are balanced and adequately nutritious. You can, unlike with meat, turn to a singular ingredient to take lead on most of the nutrients. Vegetarian meals rely on combinations and concoctions to feed your body. For example, pulses and legumes are bursting with proteins, but most pulses are deficient in lysine and some other essential amino acids, and therefore require grains to go along with. The two together make for a nutrient-packed meal with complete proteins, but eat either by themselves, and your body may be left wanting much more. In fact, going vegetarian is a lot more work than just substituting one ingredient for another. You might have to relearn the way you whip your meals together. For many people, this is too much effort, and they turn to the seemingly obvious answer to this challenge: dairy. But as I myself can attest to, this is a greater disaster in the making than eating meat might be by itself. For starters, dairy offers a punch of fats. A small piece of cheddar cheese, no bigger than your finger, has double the amount of saturated fat than 3 whole ounces of lean beef. Further, dairy doesn't really have zinc, iron or vitamin B6, which we take for granted with meat. But more than anything else, it's the quantity needed to replace meat in your diet that makes it such a time bomb on your menu. Really, dairy is best avoided. Instead, push yourself to get creative and cooking. A vegetarian diet demands it of you. Of course, there are always eggs and a sprinkling of nuts to help you along the way.